And one of the things that my dad wanted to do, he wanted to get his private pilot's licence. And so we went off. We were in his plane. I was only like 13, and first of all he was like, "Will you just hold this stick for me, please? I just need to see where we're going." Out comes the big map, and I was like, Dad, I can't see." He was like, "Oh, is it? Just hold it in a straight line." So I'm flying this plane, only 13, and then he said, "Should we do a loop?" I was like, What do you mean do it?" I was like, "Do you know what you do?" He's like, "Yeah, I watched a video on YouTube." How hard can it be?
In the fund that he's got going for Simon Andrews, they are up to, would you believe, £25,000. And that, with a lot of help from Paul and his team and you guys out there, many, many, many congratulations. There's still more to come in, I'm sure there is, and keep donating via the Facebook page. There's all sorts going on, stickers, there's t-shirts. If you want to get involved, just follow Paul on Facebook, be able to find that out. So Paul, congratulations, and very, very well done. Paul Shoesmith, give him a big round of applause.
He died in 2016. He was a professional motorbike racer, and I thought he was invincible. I never thought it would happen to him. Obviously you get no warning at all. After that I thought I really need to live my life, I need to do something. He was only 50 and 1 week old, and a year before he died he did an interview. He said, "If anything happens to me it'll be mechanical."
I mean, we all have our accidents, but I think my accidents will be outside my control. You know, it'll be something on the track or something, breakage or something like that. I'm not stupid enough to go too hot into a corner. I'm just too bloody safe. That's my problem.
He was doing 198 miles an hour and his front tyre just exploded. So I didn't believe it for ages, and even when it came to doing the inquest about a year later, it took ages, and it still wasn't sinking in, and his injuries were horrific, and desperately try not to think of that. And I just try and focus on all the happy memories. There was like a whole year where I pretty much cried every single day, and when I did start getting into exercise, you know, have you ever tried crying in a swimming pool? It's not easy. You know, doing that, I'd just be crying all the time, and I was getting annoyed with myself because thinking I need to be stronger. When somebody first dies, the calls and text messages come for the first week, and then after that people just forget about it and move on, and so you have to really look after yourself, and grief doesn't go away, you just learn to sort of grow around it. The exercise is almost a bit like self-abuse in a way, like all this hurt and anger I was feeling, I wanted to, like I felt a bit there was no justice, the fact that he'd gone. Like, he's only 50, and so me going out for like a run up a hill where you feel like your lungs are bleeding kind of thing was afterwards such a relief when I came back. I signed up to do Everest Base Camp, and my uncle said to me, "So, talk me through your training programme," and all I did was stand up in the shower and walk to my car. That's as far as my exercise got. I don't know why I even signed up to do Everest Base Camp. I just thought, you know, oh, how hard could it be? Whilst I was sat at home reading a takeaway. My dad would set his mind to something, then he'd just go and do it. I was like, oh, I need to do it. And I guess I've only really had it in the last few years, but if I want to do something, I really want to do it, I just already imagine myself doing it, and then I worry about that bit afterwards of actually doing it. Don't get me wrong, if I'd say I want to be an astronaut, I probably wouldn't be able to do that, but I'd give it a go. The whole point of starting any exercise was to get to Everest Base Camp. I really wanted to do it in memory of my dad, and he used to wear Evil Knievel leathers, which he thought was hilarious. He's like, imagine how pissed off you'd be if some old fat bastard came past with his tassels waving at, you know, these young kids that are trying dead hard. So anyway, I took an Evil Knievel flag up to the top. Well, like I say, I started exercise, but I was getting so much benefit out of it for my mental health. I was realising that for that moment when you're out, whatever it is that you're doing, you can't think about anything else apart from what you're doing. And I wouldn't say you're necessarily running away from your problems, but it's a huge distraction. 2018, I was pretty overweight then, and I walked up Pennyfan Mountain 10 times in 24 hours, which is 40 miles, and it was horrid. I hated it. And then I started training with the 5k, and then that led to the 10k, and before you know it, you're going to parkrun and you meet someone, and then you're going for a slice of cake afterwards, and you think, oh, life's brilliant, I'm going to go for cake again next week. I already know what I'm ordering, I've pre-ordered chocolate fudge cake. Then came triathlon, which again I thought, how hard can it be? And so I thought I'll just do an aquathon as like you know, a warm-up. Well, I say warm-up just as like a way of getting used to it. So that's just a swim followed by a run. I came last by 20 minutes, and the man who was timing already had one foot in his car with his stopwatch. He's like, beep, right, see you then. And I was just so humiliated. And this woman was like, at least you're not on the settee like everyone else. I was like, yes. The guy who runs Sale Water Park, he's called Bob, which is hilarious because he's a swim instructor. Do you get it? Bob. Do you get it? Like a, yeah, anyway. I tend to be like a jack of all trades when it comes to exercise. Like, I'll give anything a go. Maybe not like curling, you know, because I'm not really into that. But you watch it. Sorry. I met Mark online. When I did first meet him, I didn't do any exercise, and I think he was trying to impress me, saying, oh, I've got a triathlon this weekend. I was like, a triathlon? Like, I just didn't find it interesting, whereas now if I see anyone that's into sport, I'm like, oh, so what do you do then? You know, and I ask them loads of questions. Mark says he's created a monster because he was always into exercise and I never was, and then now you know, we'll be on a run and he'll be like out of breath in the background or something. Say with cycling, and we were comparing times the other day. So, oh, it was probably a windy day when I did it, and like, yeah, whatever, Mark. I didn't like effort, honestly. If something was too hard, I just wouldn't do it. And so I've become comfortable being uncomfortable. So, you know, if it is a walk or something, I think, right, well, next time I'm going to go for an extra 10 minutes, next time I'm going to go for an extra lap. And I became competitive with myself, but enjoyed it. Not in a sadistic way. I wasn't like punishing myself, but I just sort of enjoyed it. But and because I started a bit of exercise, I'd run around the block and then come home and eat 6 pork pies, because they're only mini ones. The barbecue ones from Aldi are very nice. It's good to have that mental strength to think no matter what's happening, like, I'm still going to look after me, because you have to be your own best friend in a way, because you're the only one that's truly really there for yourself. So if you look after your mental health and your physical health, and you just feel happier and more accomplished, really. Smug, I'd only done my one couch to 5k, like the first run. I think you only like walk for a minute and then run for a minute, and I was going around to Aldi trying to shoehorn it into every conversation. I don't go to Aldi all the time, by the way, but I'd be like, oh, when I was on my run this morning I saw this, and oh, you know, when I was on my run this morning when I was on a run, like, and just because I just felt so proud of myself for doing it. Before I became a bit more outdoorsy, my world was so small. I thought to have fun you had to go to the cinema or go to the Trafford Centre, even though I do hate shopping, but it was just something to do. I knew no better, and big days out would be something like Alton Towers. I had no idea all this beauty was on my doorstep, and even now it fascinates me that so many people think the same. If I've been somewhere really nice, you know, literally a few miles from the house, my neighbours will be like, oh, where's that? Oh, it looks really nice, and they've got no idea how close it is. Everyone is so busy. Whenever I talk to, like, you know, my friends and whatnot, they're always, oh, I've got to do this and got to do that, and I'm the same. So when I'm outside, I absolutely love just switching off. I love the fact that you get no phone signal, although unfortunately they're improving that with maths everywhere, aren't they? But I just love the sense of isolation you get. I know it's a word that I say quite often, but there's just so much beauty. I mean, have you ever just sat on a rock and watched a sheep like eat grass? Like, it's really like quite fascinating. I love getting lost. You know, Kinder, for example, there's not actual lost, there's any mountain rescue people watching. I do know what I'm doing. A lot of things that scared me is I thought you had to be of a certain level, and I thought you had to have, I just felt embarrassed thinking, oh, if I go rock climbing, people are going to laugh at me because they don't know what I'm doing. And so I really enjoyed the fact that actually as soon as you leave the door to go for a run, you think everyone's going to be looking at you, but nobody actually cares what you're doing. So yeah, triathlon came, so obviously I got a road bike. Oh, I was so nervous. I was really thirsty, but I didn't dare take my hand off the handlebar to have a drink. And whereas now I'll use like tri-bars, you know, where you put your hands on the front to make yourself go a bit faster. I wonder if I've got that from my dad, a bit of a speed demon. Cycling is good because I always stop off and eat cake if I can. Me and Mark, my boyfriend, we judge we judge rides on how many cake stops. They're like, oh, it's a really hilly one, it's a 3-caker. It's not even about being slim for me. That's just been a product of getting out more. But definitely, I can't imagine life without exercise now. Not that I'm obsessed with it, but I just get so much out of it. My mum always says, you seem to be wearing a lot of outdoor clothes, let's take you shopping, just a few key items, get you back on track. You seem to be wearing a lot of lycra, but I'm happy this way.
No, what, don't you like it? It's horrible. You're doing it on purpose. You need to slow down. Slow on me. Keep up.
Chelsea 6 years ago would just be bumbling along, not really giving a shit about herself. She wouldn't care what she ate, she wouldn't care what she looked like. I just had no respect for myself. I had no ambitions. I had no interest in challenging myself or bettering myself and, you know, learning new skills, nothing. I was just a bit of a zombie just plodding through life. I'm absolutely a completely different person than I was. I look at pictures of myself, even recognise myself, not just because I've physically changed, but I just look at myself and don't recognise like even the person behind the eyes. I know I've changed. I feel a lot stronger now than I did then, and I would recommend it to anyone, just to look after yourself a bit more. Like, any advice to anyone that I could possibly give is just go. Like. Who is Chelsea Shoesmith? Who is she? I am someone who lost one of my most favourite people and had to decide how to deal with it. I wanted to better myself, partly for my dad, but mainly for me. I chose to live for the outdoors and for movement and self-improvement. I've got simple tastes, but I know what they are and I go after them wholeheartedly every single day. It took a tragedy to make me the person who I am today, but I'm so thankful for it, so grateful. The fact that I've been able to get outside and I'm still young and I can appreciate the world for everything that it is, and the best thing about it, it's been free.
Apart from the 3.5 grand bikes.
Yeah, I've spent thousands actually. No, probably so much money. huge wake-up call for me was my dad passing away, because he was just 50 years old, and I thought, I was approaching 25 at the time, and I thought, gosh, that means if I lived till I was 50, I'd only got half my life left, or 25 years. So he achieved more in a week than most people did in months, and so I knew that I should take some of his zest for life and start ticking boxes. He ticked a lot of boxes, and I've sort of got that mindset now. I really, if I see something, no matter how hard it is, I want to give it a go. How hard can it be? I often wonder, thinking, oh, is he looking down and seeing this? But then he'd probably think that I was a nutter anyway for doing the things that I do.